Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of Underworld News Tonight. I'm Andrew Michaels, joined as always by former U.S. Secretary of Treasury Jason Strong.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I know obviously since the scandal, it's been, now you're here, so.
Right. Yeah, it's been an adjustment. Going from uh Treasury Secretary to uh odd news podcaster, but it's Bidenomics, I guess.
Well,
This
and I
where
I
we're
hate
at.
to say it, but you also can't really describe yourself as a podcast because we have zero listeners. Uh, my wife's gonna say she listened.
Right. Well, that works out well because I had zero experience being a Treasury Secretary, so
But anyway, we're going to go ahead, and there's something else that I'm worried about with you. And it's not just about your political aspirations.
mhm.
Now, people don't know. Would you describe yourself as outdoorsy?
I think that's fair.
Yeah. You say you're spending a lot of time in the fall, maybe hiking.
Oh, a lot of time is generous. I've been pretty lazy this year, but yeah, I like
Have you
to.
gone camping?
I have. I
Do you
like to get
plan to
out
go
the
camping
mountain.
more in the fall?
Yeah, I like the fall.
Well, let's say you're camping. Maybe you hear some, I don't know, what would you consider seductive music?
Oh boy. I don't know.
I feel like it's not a song called Who Boy, is it?
Um, no, I wouldn't think so. Gosh, I don't know. Maybe, maybe some Tony Bennett.
Some Tony Bennett, yeah. I don't know.
You know,
What's a Tony Bennett song? Does he sing the "When the Sun Hits Your Eye Like a Big Pizza Pie"? Is that him?
let's say that it is.
Yeah. You hear that going. Maybe you see some rose petals scattered across the ground. You wake up in the middle of the night, in your tent. And you walk out. Do you follow the petals?
Well, of course. I mean,
Well,
wouldn't
I've got some
anyone?
bad fucking news for you. This is a story coming from the only place that I get my news. Rockford's #1 for New Country, Q98.5. It is allegedly, I do want to make this clear, allegedly, I don't want to get us sued again. It is allegedly Bigfoot. It says breeding season, but I think they mean mating season and not like breeding season like a dog. And if it is like a dog, I want a Bigfoot doodle, but I do think they mean mating season. Now their source for this comes from the YouTube channel Sasquatch Theory, in a video called "Bigfoot Said You-Hoo" in a deep voice. Now, that's from some of their Bigfoot listener mail, which we're not gonna play on the air because it is a 16-minute video, which you should all watch. But I am gonna go ahead and play for us at least the first minute where we can get into this because I do want to get your thoughts.
Kind of a found footage style intro.
Yeah, very Lynchian.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Sasquatch Theory.
You'll
We're out
notice
here
the
today
security
to read some
strap
Bigfoot
on the
emails that
backpack.
people
That's
have
how you know he's
submitted into
legit.
the channel.
Yeah, yeah.
Recently, the whitetail bow hunting season started here in Missouri, and pretty anxious to get out there and just to see what's out in the woods. My main goal is to experience some Bigfoot activity and obviously to get out there and hunt. But
I hate that we have such similar
I've heard
hats.
people say that
Obviously.
Sasquatch get more active in the fall. I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel like it might be. Like that's their breeding season, and they get pretty territorial and potentially dangerous towards the winter months. I feel like the juveniles are born in the springtime and they raise them in the summer. But that's just a theory, and I've heard other people mention the same, so it could be. But yeah, today's Bigfoot email
Yeah, today
is
is Bigfoot
our
email
first
day,
one
so we're not
anyways.
going to get into all of the Bigfoot emails. He does get a lot, as you can tell.
Oh wow.
I do. First off, I will say I am somewhat inclined to trust this guy for the simple reason that he is going by Sasquatch theory and not Bigfoot theory. And I do think that if you are, I'm going to use the term Sasquatch now. I think Bigfoot's a bit disrespectful. Uh, I think that we need some seriousness.
Mhm.
I've always considered myself Sasquatch neutral. I don't think it's out there. I don't think it's the craziest idea in the world that there's like some big monkey in the woods that we don't know about.
Sure.
Uh, what are your thoughts on the mating season?
Um, well, yeah. First of all,
Well, first off, why I'm worried about you specifically. It's not just your outdoorsiness.
right.
Uh, you've got a particular look about you, and I think you look great, but I think
Oh,
you would
thank
make
you.
a supple Sasquatch bride.
Yeah, that's not the first time I heard this. Actually, my high school yearbook people signed it to Sasquatch Bride. So it's weird that
Yeah, and did they ever
it
do
kind of
anything
went
about
full
that
circle.
janitor?
um, no, no, as far as Bigfoot, yeah, well, I definitely prefer mating season to breeding season. Breeding, yeah, that just sounds gross, even in the context of Sasquatch.
I think that if I think that if we do find, maybe this is why we've not there. Sasquatch doesn't really reveal itself. Is that Sasquatch husbandry would be the next logical step.
Oh, like they're worried about being domesticated. So like
Domestication,
consciously hide it.
even on the fringe,
Mhm.
because I think the two human reactions to any new animal are, can I keep it as a pet,
Mhm.
and what does it taste like, and both.
But yeah, they're not mutually.
Especially an animal that's in the American woods.
Yes. Now that brings up that's a question I have.
Mhm.
What so this Rockford new
Rockford,
country, best
Rockford,
country?
Missouri, presumably
Yeah.
Q98.5. It's the best for new country. So don't come to them with
Mhm.
your fucking Johnny Cash. Don't ask for any
Right.
fucking Waylon Jennings.
No. Yeah, it's
We're
all
all
new.
about the Aldine.
Yeah, yeah, it's all new. There in Rockford, Missouri.
Yeah.
Um, I guess I'm wondering, what, so, where the hell are these Sasquatches? Like, are they just dispersed throughout the
Well,
country, or?
though I think that I think they just think the woods. I think there is kind of this idea, like I know you're because I always thought that Sasquatch was primarily a Pacific Northwest thing,
Yeah, me too.
right?
Yeah,
Um,
that's what we
Now
learned in grade
abominable
school.
snowmen such as the Yeti, but there are others, I would say
Mhm.
are not the same as the Sasquatch beyond being in the undiscovered ape milieu.
Mhm. Yeah. No, yeah. When I was growing up in the 80s with the like Time Life Mysteries of the Universe books, yes, I was led to believe the Pacific Northwest was prime Sasquatch country.
Yeah.
So what how they're getting into Missouri to be breeding. That's kind of a puzzling question. Like, is I don't know. Like, there's not really a whole lot of woods, a lot of places anymore. It's
I think
sort
in
of like,
Missouri there's a lot of woods.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean I've driven through Missouri. I mean, like, because I live in Illinois, I used to live in Illinois. You drive through Missouri quite a bit.
yeah,
Uh, I mean, it's a lot like, look, I'm from New Jersey, right? People say New
uh,
Jersey, nature's dead. Like, you get off of the turnpike in New Jersey, there are some places that you're just in deep fucking woods.
right,
And as everyone knows, the weird, gross fucking woods are where the Jersey Devil lives.
yes,
Bigfoot, I think, generally lives in nice woods.
okay,
Or Sasquatch lives in nice woods. I'm sorry, I need to be respectful.
right, right. So
Uh,
your contention is that Bigfoot is maybe a derogatory
it's not
term.
I just think that if you're pretending that if you're not pretending that it exists, because once again, like I think that we don't conclusively know that it doesn't exist. If tomorrow, like, there was conclusive proof of a Sasquatch found, I wouldn't be shocked, and I don't think anything would be destabilized beyond maybe like the logging industry,
Yeah.
in the way
Well,
that something like Aliens or Mothman would.
I don't think I think the logging industry has been chugging along full steam for quite a while
I
without
think that
a lot of concern about Sasquatches.
well, I think that there could be an outcry about I think that there could be quite an outcry about
Gotcha.
Sasquatches.
Right, like habitat
A
loss.
little homeless baby Sasquatch walking around.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, and footage of a little baby Sasquatch that would do wonders for my political career. I can think of a lot of political ads where that can be incorporated. With little unhappy, miserable looking Sasquatch baby trundling through the woods. Maybe dragging a kid's discarded doll or something behind him, just looking.
And then you could say you took him out of your opponent's house. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
he was found with a bunch of others in your opponent's house. You found him heroically. He has the cops bought out.
Right. Yeah, he was rescued.
Well, because they can't sue you since you faked your death.
No, that was the goal. That remains to be seen. I think it'd play well as far as like of course the Sasquatch breeding trafficking rings that we've been hearing a lot about in the news recently.
So of course, so are you saying that you want to become not a Sasquatch stepmom, but a Sasquatch mom that stepped up? Maybe you're gonna accept the Sasquatch mating. Mm-hmm. You'll go for it. Your Sasquatch family will relaunch your career.
Yeah. I like to think of myself as a pretty sex positive person, and I think that would extend to Sasquatches.
I think if we can get a tape out there, it would be good both for your political career and the podcast.
I think so too. I guess that means having to head to Rockford, Missouri, then to.
Rockford's where they're at, and if you need some music to listen to while you're there, have I got the station for you?
Yeah. No. What else? What were your thoughts about Dude's video?
I think, like I said, I think that the backpack strap is good because a real Sasquatch hunter. And if you watch this on YouTube, you will be able to see the full video here. In addition, you can watch the full video in the description. A Sasquatch hunter cannot trust anybody, even his own nipples. So you gotta have that center strap, the chain that holds it all together. The other thing of interest to me is that, number one, very, very academically rigorous. We do have to hold up the fact that he does acknowledge it's just a theory. It's just a theory. You can't legally hold him to the fact that he's saying it's true. I've not watched any of his other videos. Now, according to the person who wrote the Rockford article, who posts under the name Doc Holliday, but is not the Old West gunfighter, I did check. This is one of his favorite Sasquatch YouTubers, and we should all subscribe to it. So I have subscribed with the official Underworld News Tonight YouTube channel. So you look up at Underworld News Tonight on YouTube, and you'll be able to find us finding them, and you could also find them there. I find it very interesting that he said the Sasquatch was saying yoo-hoo, not YOOOHOOO, which I would say would be a fairly academic analysis of things, right? But he spells it in the video channel like yoo-hoo, like YOUWHO, and that's very different because every monkey says yoo-hoo.
Yeah. What zoos are you going to that you're hearing monkeys saying?
A chimp. That's what a chimp does. Chimps go like yoo-hoo, like that. You could because they don't really make a noise that's actually made of letters. It's just like grunts. But your brain could form yoo-hoo as like an incoherent noise that they're making, versus YOUWHO implies a very specific intentionality.
Right. I guess since he's bringing it up in the context of Sasquatch mating season, I'm
Or
picturing
breeding season.
or breeding season. Depending on your proclivities. I'm more of a
Yeah,
maid
I
man
found I
myself.
found I found a Sasquatch breeding documentary online, and I've got to tell you, rough stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like the industrial
I didn't know
farm.
they had dryers.
No, but since you said it in the context of mating or breeding season, don't want to yuck anyone's yum. I guess I'm picturing with a Sasquatch, like, waving a hanky, going yoo-hoo, like they do in the old Bugs Bunny cartoon.
A Sasquatch dressing up as like a sexy lady with the coconuts under the dress.
Exactly. Right.
I think for me, the divide among Sasquatch people are, I think that treating it as like, yeah, there might be this monkey out here that we haven't heard of. Fair enough.
Mhm.
I think that people who refer to like Sasquatch or Bigfoot as like there's one,
Mhm.
that's very different to me.
Yeah. Well, and I think when was
The
when was
Patterson film,
yeah, that was
67.
right. So
Thoroughly debunked. But then again, are the debunker like who's doing the debunking?
right.
Should we rebunk the debunkers?
Right. No, you're absolutely right. Like is this more of
Was
like the mainstream media, sort of deciding for
it
people?
was Big
But
Log,
right. Yeah. Well, yeah,
Duraflame.
if nothing else, we're all about teaching the controversy.
Yeah, exactly.
We want to present both sides.
Yeah, no, I mean the Patterson film is pretty clearly fake. I do think that I don't believe in Bigfoot in any way, but I wouldn't be that surprised if Bigfoot did turn out to be real or Sasquatch did turn out to be real. God fucking damn it! Now I've committed myself to Sasquatch, and I'm like actively trying to change here. I feel like now I understand how old people who have to adjust pronouns feel. But I wouldn't be that surprised if tomorrow we found out about Sasquatch.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think I would be surprised. I don't.
We find
I
out
think
about random fucking
wouldn't.
animals all the time. They wouldn't call it a Sasquatch, but if we found out they're like, oh, there's this big ape in the woods of North America. There's a small numbers of them. They're very reclusive. They tend to, I don't know, like fucking hide either underground or in caves or something like that.
Right. Except in October, apparently, when they come out.
In October, they fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, with a yoo-hoo.
With a yoo-hoo.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, if you're out there, be careful. Don't. What are some things that you think would sexually repel a Bigfoot?
That's a good question. Off the top of my head, I would have to almost certainly toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity for sure. I've always considered Bigfoot to be a Sasquatch society, to be fairly egalitarian.
Right.
Hopefully.
Right.
But that varies from ape to. I don't know if we know enough about the Sasquatch to say that.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They don't seem super interested in urban living.
Well, no,
they're definitely more into the rural.
Well, yeah, I mean, presumably if you like get home and a Sasquatch is fucking your wife, then that's her personal trainer in a Sasquatch costume.
Oh. Wait, what?
If you live in the city and a Sasquatch is fucking your wife, it's not a real Sasquatch.
Oh man. Man, I'm gonna have to do
at your city. If you live in the city and a Sasquatch is fucking your wife and you're camping in the woods, then that might be legit.
That's yeah. So yeah. Yeah. No, actually.
And in any healthy marriage, fucking a cryptid doesn't count. So have at it. But
right.
You got to make sure it's real.
Yeah.
Jersey Devil is also not a cryptid. It is a mythical site. a mythical being. So we'll, find out more about that on our Halloween episode. But
no, my wife and I have talked about this, and as far as I'm concerned, for me, my hall pass is the Loch Ness Monster.
Loch Ness Monster, that's fair.
Yeah.
Think about what that neck could do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway,
right.
I guess listen to this podcast. That'll probably turn him off.
I don't know. I'm pretty hard right now. I guess moving on from Sasquatch. Here we have a story. This one is courtesy.
They don't often call back, sadly.
Do I?
The Sasquatches, they don't often call back, so we are moving on.
Yeah. I've been left on red. So this is from NPR, and apparently a man from Florida.
Okay.
Now, I want to be clear. We don't we don't want to perpetuate hurtful stereotypes.
Not at all.
No, and we want to we want to acknowledge and celebrate the differences in everyone. But as it turns out,
plenty of good people live in Florida.
Yeah. Florida man decided to run across the Atlantic Ocean in a giant hamster wheel. And
what's wrong with that? This is a crime? Well,
according to the Coast Guard,
the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Here again, we see weaponized government agencies, trying to stop the little guy from running across.
It's a lot more embarrassing to get stopped by the Coast Guard than the Navy.
You think so?
I think so, yeah. I think you should at least try to get far enough out that it's a Navy problem.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, I mean, dude is in a hamster wheel, so he's running.
He's running, yeah.
So
he's trying to go across the Atlantic Ocean. Okay.
The Coast Guard picked him up 70 miles off the coast of Georgia.
Okay.
70 nautical miles, excuse me.
70 nautical miles. Okay, which is how many?
I have no idea what differentiates a nautical mile from a terrestrial mile?
From a terrestrial mile?
Why is the nautical it's qualified?
I think. Let me look that up. We could look that up right now. I'm not gonna. We're gonna say it with confidence right here. Mm-hmm. I think it's something to do with buoyancy. I think it factors in the way you naturally would bounce a bit on the water.
Oh, okay. I think I.
If you're wrong, you should let it. If we're wrong and you're listening to this, you should let us know in the comments. But I'm gonna say that with definitiveness.
No, that makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
That the waves, you're going to be going up and down.
So it's slower or maybe faster.
Right. Could be impossible to say. There's no way to know. I've not served in the Navy nor the Coast Guard. I was Space Force.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, why the Coast Guard busted him, this is going to come as a surprise. They didn't feel his hamster wheel was particularly seaworthy.
Okay, well, who else was in it?
Just him.
Okay, so he fucking drowns.
Well, he actually, so it took the Coast Guard 3 attempts to stop him.
Okay.
The first time, the guy, he's, I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, so I apologize in advance. Again, send your complaints to the Facebook page, email us. Reza Bluki.
Reza Bluki, okay.
Yes. When the Coast Guard
always trust a Bluki.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what your baseball cap says. And I've certainly lived by that my entire life. The first time they approached him, he produced a knife and said he would harm himself if they came any closer. So they backed off. They tried the next day. He had 2 knives then.
How much
And
further did he get between the 2 days? Does it say?
it does not.
Okay.
But it does have the names of the Coast Guard vessels
Okay.
that each approached him, which is sort of odd, like, but whatever. And the third time, he showed some wires and said he had a bomb and would blow it up. And then the fourth time finally surrendered and said none of that was true. But yeah, so he had made it 70 miles, set off the coast of Georgia, Tybee Island to be specific.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure where in Georgia that is. I don't believe I've had the pleasure of visiting Tybee Island. But
I've never been to Georgia.
Really?
Yeah, I always wanted to go to Atlanta, but I've never been.
It's all right.
I think that Georgia's great.
Take it or leave it. Yeah, it's in case you're curious, it is a little over 4,000 miles that he was going to cross in Hamster Wheel. Again, he made it 70. I'm not sure what he was planning to do about food or water. That the article doesn't say anything about that.
I'm sure he had options. You could catch a fish. He is in the midst of nature's sushi bar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as we commonly refer to the Atlantic Ocean here.
He could drink his piss.
Yeah, I just assumed
he could picture a giant hamburger in front of him while he's running, and it'll gradually make him go faster the hungrier he gets, like a superpower.
Right. Yeah, no, that's pretty much exactly what I had thought. He maybe it doesn't say for sure here. I assume that he had a stick mounted on top of the hamster wheel with the carrot, and he was running after the carrot, and that's kind of what motivated him to keep going. Yeah. So this guy and actually he was found because the Coast Guard was out patrolling because of an impending hurricane, and
maybe he was going to stop it.
Really?
I think that if you are a fucking hurricane and you see a man out there on a hamster wheel and he is telling you to stand the fuck down, I think you listen.
Yeah, well, that's sound logic. I can't argue with that. What strikes me as weird, again, this is an NPR article, that they go into detail describing, including the names of the Coast Guard vessels, but have little to say about the hamster wheel as far as what.
That's fucking lamestream media is covering it up. It was perfectly fucking seaworthy. It put all of our shit to shame.
Right.
This man is being taken to a CIA black site as we speak.
Yeah. I think actually he was released on a $250,000 bail, which seems kind of.
Wait, who has two? Who that guy's two? I guess if he built the thing, he does have a lot of money.
Well, I don't.
He built a floating hamster wheel that he could at least get 70 miles in.
Well, that was actually going to be my next question: is where does one get a floating hamster wheel?
I mean, I think he built it. I think this man is a creator.
And you think maybe this is just he's just too much of a visionary, pushing the envelope that big cruise ship can't have.
We respect all of our already millions of listeners in general, especially those in the Navy. My grandfather was in the Navy, but I never trust a fucking sea captain. I guess you never trust a guy who built his own thing either, because it's how the guy That's how the Titanic guy died, I guess.
Oh, the submersible.
Yeah, stopped and rush.
Titan? Was that what
The
was
Titan
it?
submersible, yeah. But you know
Okay.
what? What he wanted to do for underwater, this man wants to do for the top of the water. He is disrupting the sailboat industry, the rowboat industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you've summed it up, and I don't know.
Did
I
you
don't
do
know if
crew
I
in
have
high
much else
school?
to say.
I knew somebody who did crew in high. My ex-girlfriend did crew in high school. Did you do crew in high school or college?
Oh no. I went to Beaver Creek High School in Ohio.
Well, you have a creek.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
school's crew team would just do it in the lake.
yeah. Not really lakes to speak of, or
I guess
creeks that are.
creeks are like standing depth, right?
Yeah, creeks. Yeah, not no. I did it. Not a lot of crew happening. Um,
How
and
long?
I
I'm
could
wondering how
totally
long it
be
would take a crew canoe, a crew regatta. I think it's called a regatta
okay.
to go 70 miles compared to this guy. Because the legs are so much stronger than the arms.
Right,
I
but it's
think
also
that this guy might be in some ways a genius, but he aimed too far with distance. I think if he said like I'm gonna get this across the Mississippi River, like not like length, not like the full length of it, but just like from
right
one
bank to
coast.
bank.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
think that would be very impressive. I think he could do it.
yeah. Well, actually, this dude, this isn't his first. We'll be charitable and say adventure.
Adventure
Uh,
excursion, maybe.
yeah. Uh, dumbassery.
Yeah.
Uh, now again, this NPR article. This is just his word. Mr. Belushi's words. Blue. That I pronounced it differently that time. What did I?
Mr. Blukey, I think, right?
Blukey. Yeah. Um,
Blukey.
again, apologies. He
Apologies to all of our Blukey listeners.
Yeah, no, yes, you're yeah. He supposedly ran cross country twice,
Mm-hmm.
like Forrest Gump. Hard to
Oh,
prove.
like I thought you I thought you had like he was like on a cross country team twice. I was like, that's not that impressive.
No, across the U.S.
Okay.
Um, and he also had attempted a couple times to go from Florida to Bermuda, which is only about 1,000 miles, and he didn't make that either.
Okay.
Doesn't say why. So it's weird that he failed at 1,000 and thought, you know what?
Yeah, I think you should have tried 1,000 again.
Well, I like your idea of crossing the Mississippi.
Yeah, I think that's a good start.
Right, and then you kind of build up from there.
Work your way up, yeah.
Yeah, if the Mississippi maybe is too ambitious, and that.
You know what you should do? You probably have a local YMCA. You start there.
What, like
at the pool? Yeah.
Oh, at the pool. I thought you were talking about they had a river. No, my local YMCA that does not have a river. Probably has
I don't think most of them have a river. I think they tend to be indoors.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like that's something that human hamster wheels are probably shunned at the YMCA, much as they are by the Coast Guard.
Hamsters don't cross rivers in their wheels is the other part of that too. Are you supposed to put hamster wheels in water? Like the hamster balls. I think this thing's saying hamster wheel. It seems like they're mean a hamster ball, right?
I think it's a wheel. I think it's
like not like a wheel like they run it in their cage. I mean, I guess is it powered by one of those?
No, it's I think it's a wheel. It's a little longer, like, so it doesn't tip over. But it is, I don't think it's a ball. Like how you see, you can see like if you go to spring break at, I don't know, Panama City in Florida.
Yeah.
You can get super drunk and pay $20 and they put you in an inflatable
Oh, zorbing.
ball
It's
and
called.
you
I think
run
it's
it.
called
Yeah,
zorbing.
it's not. What is it?
I think it's called zorbing, right? Isn't that a sport in Australia?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, people just when you just go in the big clear ball and they throw you down a hill, right?
Oh, that actually kind of sounds fun.
They did that in the Rocket Power movie.
No, yeah, I have no idea. But anyway, I think this is more of a wheel. And based on my personal experience, no, hamsters are not particularly successful at crossing bodies of water in their wheels.
I think this is about the military industrial complex to me at the end of the day. We have spent all of this money on our Navy, building the best boats, getting the best fucking admirals. We're getting the best fucking, I don't know what the Navy's getting today, the best fucking cannonballs and buckshots.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
They're always trying to out splish and splash those other wet boys. And the fact that this man was going to fucking take them down in this hamster wheel, they couldn't allow that.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if something happens, is all I'm saying.
I think you're absolutely right. The military industrial complex doesn't want the American people to realize that you don't need a $1 billion battleship. You just need a dumbass in a wheel.
You just need an American in a wheel, first off.
A Floridian in a wheel.
This is the type of fucking ingenuity that we used to excel at.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Too often in divorce, it's the children that suffer. And our next story is unfortunately about that. And this is coming from the Mirror in the UK. So I'll go ahead and get ready to get that started. And if you'll give me a second. Inside Ghost. Oh, sorry, what?
Nothing.
Sorry, you made me break character. I need to start over.
I'm sorry.
Please, it's get method.
Yeah. Crumpets.
Inside ghost hunting couples bitter divorce battle over spirits in haunted museum. That's out of the Mirror in the UK. And this is a divorce between the Ghosts of Britain ghost hunting couple, Lindsay Steer, age 53, and Lee Steer, age 37. And by the way, before any of you fucking Zoomers say anything, I don't know, I'm 28, so I'm younger than Lee Steer. I don't think 53 and 37 is fine. If you have a problem with that, that's all right. We're not going to judge them for that. I'm against the ghost hunting thing, I will say, because I watched it. We'll get into it. But so they had announced their pending divorce. They had run a popular page called Project Reveal, Ghosts of Britain, for 7 years. At which point, by the way, this isn't a fucking you're really stretching the term Project Reveal after 7 years. But that's a hell of a project. These are the owners of the Haunted Objects Museum in Rotherham, South Yorkshire, home to a vast collection of supposedly possessed items that they've owned over the last few years. But the museum's now closed because their fighting has led to its closure. They were running it together. Lee claims that Lindsay refused to give back a bunch of his ghost hunting equipment, numbering in the thousands of dollars. Because you can't get the fucking. I've gotten my ghost hunting equipment off of Shein in the past, and I just found an alive 8-year-old boy, so you can't do that. So in response, he went in and stole 3 haunted dolls from the museum.
Oh wow!
Now the Mirror article does not name 2 of the dolls. The third one, it says Annabelle, and at first I'm thinking, oh wow, they have an Annabelle. That's crazy. I can't believe that they have the Annabelle doll, right? Like I thought that was in the with the Warrens. It's not the Annabelle doll. It's an Annabelle doll that's like a piece of Conjuring merchandise that they're saying might have been that they're saying that the original Annabelle might have jumped into.
That feels very like postmodern.
It seems like if you're trying to hide, you would go into a different doll. Go into a fucking Care Bear.
Right. Yeah. Why would you go into? Well, yeah. Maybe Annabelle's just real big into branding, and just wanted to
I think
keep
it's
that
important to look the way
consistent.
you want to look, because I think about that a lot with people in witness protection, where
Okay.
I'll think about you hear about people all the time who are in the witness protection program, and they have to
Mhm.
grow their fucking mustache, they have to get their fucking sunglasses. Maybe they don't want that. I think it might be the same for Annabelle. So they're saying that the Annabelle jumped into this piece of Conjuring merchandise, or a Conjuring inspired doll. I don't think it's official Conjuring merch. The Mirror article is not clear. He's stolen them. Now the museum is closed, but they have both started different ghost hunting channels. She's
Okay.
keeping the original Project Reveal Ghosts of Britain channel going, and he started a channel called Ghosts of Britain GOB.
Oh.
But this battle, it's tearing up all their museums. It includes these dolls. It also includes, they're saying, a real human skeleton, which I don't think is necessarily haunted, because you could just buy those from like medical schools, right?
What, a human skeleton?
Yeah, I think you could just buy a human skeleton.
I don't.
Because medical schools have human skeleton. Like, I don't think, maybe not on like Amazon, but I think that you could definitely buy human bones.
Like,
They make sure they're not for murder victims, but like people, you can buy a human bone,
sure.
and I think you can buy a human skeleton. So I don't think that a human skeleton is necessarily haunted. If it is haunted, it's probably because you took their fucking skeleton to put in your museum.
Yeah, I don't think it's that easy to get a hold of a human skeleton.
I
don't
think it's
that's
easier than
something-
you. I think that because we're not like,
Yeah.
hospitals have skeletons, not hospital, like medical schools have skeletons. I know people donate their body. Like you see them around. I think that.
I'm sorry. Where are you hanging out that you see like actual human skeleton?
Listen, you get in good with a mortician. You can find all sorts of cool shit that people had in their pockets.
With like a human skeleton.
Yeah, but them having the skeleton and being like it's haunted, this gets into what I don't like about either of these people, and why I'm rooting for both of them to rule. It's the ghost hunter thing to lose. Sorry, it's the ghost hunter thing, right? A ghost buster is one thing, because not every ghost needs busting. A ghost that's up to no good gets busted. Now, I still do not always support the methods of the Ghostbusters. Number one, very anti-environment, and I think that they definitely could have made some leeway into doing things in a green way. People have been ghost hunting for millennia. I don't see any reason why, the EPA regulations are incompatible.
Sure.
Number two, they're essentially giving every ghost the death penalty. I don't think that's reasonable. I think that there needs to be more of a temporary ghost jail. Maybe that's in the sequels. I've only seen Ghostbusters 1. I didn't watch the cartoon either.
Oh, I think based on the Ghostbusters canon, it's actually much worse. Like, because the ghosts aren't like dead; they're just held in that big weird machine in the basement. Like,
well, they have to empty it out eventually, right?
Do they? I thought that was kind of the premise.
Is it like the Phantom Zone?
The Phantom Zone?
And Superman, because Superman sends bad guys to the Phantom Zone, which is like a Kryptonian super prison. But then eventually he feels bad about it and lets him out, and then they're always pissed about being in the Phantom Zone, and he's created a terrorist, and his response is to put them back in the Phantom Zone usually.
Right. I think that's a damning indictment of our prison industrial complex. I think that's what the Superman Phantom Zone is supposed
and
to
the Ghostbusters ghost tank. But I think that that aside, they're because we could say this is an extension of 80s tough on crime, the political environment that they came up in, and we can't blame Harold Ramis for that. But
no.
I think that we need to consider the fact that the Ghostbusters, they only busted. If a ghost was up to no good, they busted it.
Right.
Ghost hunters are after ghosts. I turned on one of their channels and it's just him walking through it. I turned on Ghost of Britain GOB. They have he'll do his live streams, him going through a graveyard and being like, I think I saw the ghost of a kid. And he's like, oh, what are you saying? And the kid's like, go away. I don't like the Industrial Revolution. And then, like, you know, he's just there fucking harassing this kid. You do that to a living kid, you're not allowed in an elementary school anymore.
Right. Yeah. They don't let you back in the Chuck E. Cheese.
And so I think that neither of them should get custody of these ghosts. I think that these ghosts need to get a loving ghost family, a loving home, free from these fucking weirdos.
I think it would be important to know what it is that the ghosts want. Is there anything in the article about?
They didn't ask the dolls.
No, of course they didn't. You know, as you said, it's all
shoddy journalism.
Yeah, yeah. Which is a surprise from the Mirror. And you know, it's an all too familiar situation where, you know, nobody asked the children how they feel about, you know, how they feel about the divorce, and
too often used as pawns.
Yes, exactly. So but so what did dude do with the you said he stole?
Yeah, he just walked in and just took him. No, I don't think allegedly. I think it was caught on camera.
Oh. But regardless, does he have is there now like two competing museums?
He has a competing, there's 0 museums. They have Facebook streams. They have Facebook pages. So, you know, that's basically a museum.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I don't know how we're defining museum, by the way. It's just having a collection of shit.
Yeah. Well, it's probably charging people to look at it.
My grandma has a fucking Issues of the Inquirer museum.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You have to pay to, like, see it, or? Well, I guess you don't have to pay for every museum.
You should have to pay for this one.
Oh, yeah. It's that good, huh?
It's that good, yeah.
Man.
Old pasta sauces from 1982 staining the pages. Really gives you a feel of how our nation's changed.
Nicotine?
No, I don't think I don't think she ever. Well, she smoked. I think she stopped smoking before she started buying the Inquirer.
Oh wow!
Because when did the Inquirer start?
Oh boy!
The 80s, or has the Inquirer been around since like the 50s?
Impossible to know.
It's impossible. I've only lived in a time when you could
right when I could look that up. All right, I'm gonna look. I will look that. I will do this.
Yeah, that'll actually bother me, because maybe she did have the Inquirer. It's hard to tell because old pages just get yellow.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell. It'd be hard to tell too, because I feel like this is a contentious, might be a contentious statement. A lot of the past was pretty ugly.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was
color palette and yeah.
I love the wood paneling on the cars, though. I think that was right.
Yes, yeah, I very much do. National Enquirer, 1926.
1926.
Yeah.
Who were they gossiping about? Probably Charlie Chaplin and Fatty Arbuckle.
That could be. Is that? Well, I think Fatty Arbuckle, that there might actually be some stuff there.
Well, no, Fatty Arbuckle. Fatty Arbuckle did actually rape that woman, right? That's like legit.
Charlie Chaplin, I don't really know what, other than maybe him being inferior to Buster Keaton.
Well, no, I watched a Charlie Chaplin documentary on an airplane a few months ago. And number one, they say he was a great genius, but when you really watch the documentary and see what he did, I think they just mean he was the best guy at pretending to fall down at the time. Sure. And number two, he did marry like a bunch of 16-year-olds and abuse them, which wasn't great.
Right.
But you know, beats Fatty Arbuckle, I suppose. And at the end of the day, who else could get lost on a giant clock like him? You gotta make some allowances.
Right. Yep. Yep. Was that Charlie Chaplin that did the
Yeah, I
big
think
clock?
I think he did the. I'm sure everybody had a giant clock bit.
Yeah. Back in the 20s in the giant clock industry.
Yeah.
So what we have next story here is brought to us by the AP, Associated Press.
Mm-hmm.
And in Philadelphia, a Phillies fan was turned away.
Always, by the way, calm, reasonable people.
Mm-hmm.
Of all of the sports fans, I would say the most reasonable.
Are the Phillies?
The Phillies fans, I would say, yeah. Besides maybe the Red Sox fans, the Phillies fans are very chill, very calm.
Mm-hmm. Well, this may help explain it, at least for this particular fan. He was turned away because he brought his emotional support alligator named WallyGator.
WallyGator, okay. And what's the problem
WallyGator.
with WallyGator? What's the issue here?
Off the top of my head, I want to say the issue is that some dude tried to bring an alligator into.
Oh, come on. Oh, I knew you were going to say this. He tried to bring a gator into the stadium. This is some fucking nanny state, liberal, namby-pamby nonsense. First off, a gator could have a great time at a baseball game. Can they eat hot dogs? Can gators eat hot dogs?
I think they can. I don't know if they should.
If any vets who are listening can answer if gators can eat hot dogs, I'll fucking tweet to Mr. Beast to pay your student debt. They could eat the hot dogs. They could catch a baseball in their little mouth and then spit it back out. That would be really cute.
Yeah.
I don't see the issue here.
I don't argue that it would be cute. Maybe. I guess it depends on your proclivities. No, it was the Phillies were playing Pittsburgh,
mm-hmm.
Which is the
Pirates, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I'm not a baseball
fan.
No.
Wally would have liked to be. WallyGator would have liked to be, I should say, but now
that's
been robbed from him.
Yeah, he's been denied the opportunity. Now it says the owner is a Phillies fan. Unclear is who the Gator was rooting for.
I'll tell you what, WallyGator, the New York Mets, we will take anyone we can get.
Oh, you think it's the Mets?
I think I want him to be a Mets fan. I'll petition him. I'll talk to WallyGator about it.
I guess my assumption was he was rooting for the Pirates because, well, no, I guess Peter Pan, the Gator, and the Pirates. Right?
Yeah, no, I don't think Gators particularly like Pirates,
and vice versa.
Yeah, I think that the Mets I don't think have done anything to wrong a Gator. Mr. Manager in baseball, I think that
Mm-hmm. Now again, I'm not a baseball fan. Wasn't it? What was the curse? Someone tried to bring a goat back in the.
I think that was the White Sox.
20? Yeah,
it was the White Sox because they had the oldest curse.
Yeah.
They had the curse that was from like 1907.
That's it. Yeah. So someone tried to bring a goat and was turned away, and then put a curse.
Because the Red Sox curse was that they traded Babe Ruth, but they traded Babe Ruth because he was drunk all the time and fucking like eating hot dogs on home plate and whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And if I ever get fucking kicked off this podcast for the same, I will curse you until the day you fucking die.
And I'll never win the World Series then.
Your chances will be shot.
Yeah.
Anyways, can WallyGator get back in? Is there what's next for WallyGator?
Well, WallyGator seems to be doing well on the social media. He's sorry, I shouldn't gender. I have no idea if WallyGator.
I'm assuming WallyGator is a guy because I'm assuming WallyGator is at least being presented as male by WallyGator's owner, and is at least consenting to that choice based on the fact that WallyGator hasn't bit anyone.
Hasn't killed him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that he's unfortunately ever going to be able to see a Phillies game because the Citizens Bank Park, where the Phillies play, they only allow guide dogs, service animals, no other animals. So emotional support isn't something they recognize. Which actually also brings me to another, like Citizens Bank Park. You're a baseball fan, right?
I'm a Mets fan. Yeah. Well, the Mets used to play in Shea Stadium. Now they play in Citi Field, which is Citibank. So.
Right. Well, that's my point. Is how do you feel about like these sort of more? Everything is now like a corporate or big business.
I
right?
think
It's not. Go ahead.
I don't mind as much. I was born in 1995, so it was always like that for me. Like, it doesn't bother me as much. Like, there have always been the really historic parks. I think it bothers me that now a lot of parks just get torn down. Like, the Citi Field is absolutely a better experience to be at than Shea Stadium was. But Shea Stadium was like a historic venue that could have been renovated in some ways and stuff like that. Instead of like this wholesale tear down of the park to add more ways for people to spend money.
Right.
Like Shea Stadium was like where the Beatles came to America and stuff like that. So it is a bit sad. Yeah. And I think that maybe that's why they wouldn't let WallyGator in. He would have torn it up. He would have.
Yeah. He was. Maybe
he would have woken people up to what's going on, and maybe this will.
Yeah. And I guess one more question I have: what would your emotional support animal? Yeah, say you're going to a Mets game.
Say I'm going to a Mets game.
Yeah. What animal are you bringing with you? A kestrel, silverback gorilla?
What animal am I bringing with me to a Mets game? I think I am bringing a chimp to tear my fucking face off and throw it out so that I don't have to be a Mets fan anymore. Now, we've all, I don't want to say anything that's going to get any of us in trouble. We've all maybe not been entirely honest with U.S. Customs before. Maybe, you've taken some fruit. You don't need to say it, Maybe you've done, maybe we've all been a little naughty in some ways before. This woman was totally honest. And look what it cost her. U.S. Customs have seized giraffe feces from a woman at the Minneapolis airport. This was an Iowa woman who picked it up from a trip to Kenya and brought it back to the U.S. in her luggage. She did declare it at Minneapolis St. Paul, and because of that, she's not being arrested because she did declare it. But the reason why she got it was to make jewelry. I tried looking up how you make jewelry from poop, and I couldn't because it was all just this article in different ways. This story was from the Associated Press. It was all just this article posted in different ways. But, it's a new thing now because when you buy a wedding ring or an engagement ring, now you got to worry, make sure it's not a conflict dump.
Right. Yeah, you want to be socially responsible, and yeah. So is the contention that it's like conflict poop, or?
No, the contention is apparently you can't bring poop into the United States. U.S. Customs officials did say that there's a real danger of bringing fecal matter into the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Chicago Field Director and official buzzkill LaFonda D. Sutton Burke said in a statement. If this person had entered the U.S. and not declared these items, there is a high possibility this person could have contracted a disease from this jewelry, or a person could have contracted a disease from this jewelry and developed serious health issues. And then they list a few different types of disease that you could get, including African swine fever, classical swine fever, which I don't think you could get from giraffe because I'm not an expert, but it's not.
Yeah, I don't think.
Newcastle disease, foot and
Sure.
mouth disease, and swine vesicular disease among the ailments in Kenya that Customs cited as risks. So if you're thinking about bringing some giraffes turds home, let me know. I do want to know who this Iowa woman is who went to Kenya and is making poop jewelry. Like, I do need to know about her.
Right. Like, does she have an Etsy shop? And
Well,
is it
not
reasonable? Like,
anymore.
what-
I mean, not selling the real thing.
Yeah. I guess I'm more concerned about this sort of sweeping statement that Customs said that, like, you can't bring fecal matter into the United States. I don't know how to break it to them, but pretty sure we're all bringing fecal matter into the United
After
States.
any long haul flight.
Yes, yeah. I guess rarely do I make jewelry out of my own, though. Yeah, I would think if I can see the temptation, of wanting to make jewelry out of giraffe poop.
Jewelry is expensive. I'm married. I've bought engagement ring. I've bought a wedding ring. It's not cheap.
No, and I'll bet you would have, if fecal matter was an option.
I will tell you what, I am running the world's largest diamond mine every fucking morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think it's diamonds that's what the fecal matter equates to?
I think that I would imagine that it's being sold as giraffe poop jewelry because she didn't bring enough to run like an industrial operation.
Right.
So I'm thinking this is like a
I get right, as opposed to, I don't know, an opal or what I'm trying to think.
I don't think it's jewelry fraud.
You think she's upfront about?
I have to imagine she is. They didn't say anything about her shop being closed
down. What man. Boy, this really maybe I'll put aside my political ambitions, and because if poop jewelry is a thing, I feel like possibilities are endless. Like, think of all the poop there is.
Yeah, I know.
What a diverse array of, you can make a necklace with 20 different types of poops.
I mean, but we have to think about like what effect it would have on the economy. Because once Taco Bell becomes part of the jewelry line of production,
yeah, it'll just devalue. We'll just be awash in Taco Bell poop jewelry.
Anyway, if you are thinking about bringing giraffe poop into the United States right now, it's apparently illegal. I would find somewhere that allows it. They've not arrested the woman because she did declare it, and that's what matters, but they did take it away, sadly. Now that giraffe poop is forever without a home. Anyway, thanks everybody so much for listening. You could find, if you like this, definitely remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. We will hopefully be wherever you get your podcast by the time this is up. We certainly are wherever you are listening to this right now. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook as Underworld News Tonight. You can also find us on YouTube and Spotify at Underworld News Tonight. And again, hopefully wherever else you get your podcasts.